Her name was Lily Carter. She was 28 and tired in a deeper way. Every morning she took that bus to Mercy General, not to work, but to wait. Her father, Robert Carter, had been admitted 3 weeks earlier with complications that kept changing names: heart failure, then infection, then something the doctors called unstable. Lily learned the language of beeps and charts, learned how to nod while fear pressed on her ribs. She smiled at the bus stop because it was the last quiet moment she allowed herself before stepping back into the world of fluorescent lights and whispered conversations. Ethan never spoke to her at first. He stood a few feet away, coffee in hand, watching the city wake up. He told himself he didn't want to intrude. He told himself a lot of things. What he didn't tell himself was how much that smile steadied him after nights spent moving patients, cleaning rooms, holding doors for grief. On the morning she wasn't there, the bus stop felt emptier than it should have. One rainy Tuesday, the bench was wet, and Lily stood instead, hugging her coat. Ethan hesitated, then offered his umbrella without a word. She looked surprised, then grateful. "Thank you," she said. Her voice was soft but steady. He nodded, embarrassed by how quickly his heart picked up. They stood there, sharing silence and rain, and when the bus came, she smiled, this time at him. From that day on, they spoke. Small things at first. Weather. Bus delays. The coffee shop that burned its beans. Ethan learned she loved old movies and cinnamon rolls. Lily learned he worked nights at the hospital and wanted to become a nurse someday. She didn't say why she went to Mercy General every day, and he didn't ask. Some stories announce themselves. Others wait. Weeks passed. Lily's smile changed. It grew thinner, more fragile. One morning she didn't smile at all. She stared at the ground, eyes rimmed red. Ethan felt the urge to fix something he didn't understand. He told her a silly story about a patient who insisted the 4-pole was a microphone. She laughed, a quick sound that surprised them both, then covered her mouth as if she'd done something wrong. "Thank you," she whispered. Ethan realized then that sometimes a smile is a victory. Inside Mercy General, Lily waited. She waited through rounds and updates that contradicted each other. She waited through nights in a chair beside her father's bed, counting breaths. Robert was a proud man who hated being helpless. On good days he joked about the food. On bad days he squeezed Lily's hand too tightly, afraid she might disappear. The doctors were kind but cautious. One name came up more often than the others, Dr. Daniel Reeves, the cardiologist with the calm voice and tired eyes. "We're doing everything we can," he said, and Lily learned how much weight those words could carry. Ethan, meanwhile, crossed paths with Dr. Reeves more often than he liked. He saw the doctor's long hours, the way he paused before delivering news, the way he stayed late. Ethan admired him. He also resented the distance, how easily some people moved between hope and despair with a chart in their hands. He didn't know Lily was waiting for that doctor. He only knew she was waiting for something. The morning Lily didn't show up at the bus stop, Ethan felt it like a missed step on the stairs. The next day, she wasn't there either. On the third day, he stood under the flickering streetlight long after the bus came and went. At work that night, he pushed a gurney past the cardiac wing and froze. Lily stood outside a room, arms crossed, staring through the glass. Her smile was gone. He didn't approach her right away. He watched Dr. Reeves step out, speak softly, place a hand on Lily's shoulder. He watched Lily nod, then crumble. Ethan moved before he thought. He caught her as her knees buckled, guided her to a chair, held her while she cried the kind of cry that empties you out. No words fit. He stayed anyway. Robert Carter survived that night, but the path ahead was uncertain. Dr. Reeves laid out risks and timelines, options that sounded like math problems with hearts attached. Lily listened, asked smart questions, took notes. Then she went to the hallway and breathed until the walls stopped closing in. Ethan brought her water. They sat on the floor, backs against the wall. "I wait for your smile every morning," he said before he could stop himself. "I didn't realize how much until it was gone." Lily looked at him through tears and smiled, not because she was okay, but because she wasn't alone. Days turned into a rhythm. Ethan checked in when he could. Lily waited, for test results, for Dr. Reeves, for hope. Sometimes hope arrived in inches. Sometimes it retreated. One night, a complication sent alarms ringing. Dr. Reeves worked through the dark, hands steady, voice firm. Ethan assisted where he could, feeling the strange intersection of his two worlds tighten. At dawn, the crisis passed. Robert slept. Lily watched the sunrise through a hospital window and felt something unclench. Recovery was slow. There were setbacks. There were days Lily wanted to scream at the word progress. Through it all, Ethan showed up, not as a savior, not as a promise, but as a presence. He brought bad coffee and good stories. He listened. He waited. And every now and then, Lily smiled. Months later, Robert was discharged with a careful plan and a lighter step. Lily returned to the bus stop one crisp morning, wearing a new coat. Ethan was there. When the bus lights appeared, she smiled, full this time, unguarded. He smiled back, realizing that waiting can be an act of love. They didn't pretend the future would be easy. Ethan enrolled in nursing school. Lily went back to work, carrying a new kind of strength. Dr. Reeves continued his long hours, quietly changing outcomes one patient at a time. Life moved on, imperfect and precious. Here's the truth this story leaves us with: some people wait for a miracle, some people work to become one, and some people simply wait, with kindness, with patience, with hope, until a smile returns. If this story moved you, like the video so it can reach someone who needs it. Subscribe for more stories that remind us why waiting, when done with love, is never wasted.